With 2.5 around the corner, everyone's excited. Everyone's ready for YSG to drop, Zhao, as well as the reruns. But I think we looked over a certain drive this set that I don't see many people talking about, and that is Shining Arya. Shining Arya has two effects. For the 2-piece effect, it's an ether damage by 10%, and the 4-piece effect is when the equipper's base attack hits an enemy, their anomaly proficiency increases by 36, lasting for 8 seconds. Repeated triggers resets the duration. When any enemy on the field is stunned, the equipper's damage is increased by 25% for 18 seconds. Repeated triggers resets this duration. Now this set seems like something most people gloss over because most anomalies, or just most characters, probably don't have a real use for this. But I think there are some anomaly agents that could benefit from this more than the current sets that they have. Not all of them, but just some of them. So I'm gonna go over about my thoughts about this set and why I think some of the anomaly agents or even some other agents might be able to have a use for this. Okay, first I'm gonna go in order of all the anomaly units since this is an anomaly set. So Vivian, I don't believe Vivian can use this set because she already has a dedicated set to her, which is Faith is Melody. And Faith is Melody is a set that works off field and provides her enough AP and anomaly mastery for her to sustain what she wants to do. So this set isn't really useful just because in her rotations, you don't really basic attack, or you don't really need to basic attack in order to do what she wants to do, right? It's more so you're kind of doing extra work for something you don't really need to do when her main set, which is Faith is Melody, already does that. Alice. So for Alice, it's a set you can use because her EBAs or her enhanced basics do count as a base attack. However, Fang Metal is just a superior option when it comes to using this set with Alice, because Fang Metal has the damage bonus whenever anyone is under an assault or triggered assault. So she gets a lot more damage from just running Fang Metal. But it is a secondary set that if you don't have any good Fang Metal pieces, like me, you can use it for Alice. It's not her strongest option, but it is an option that Alice can use. Miyabi. I'm not really sure if Miyabi would actually run this set. She does have a lot of base attacks in her kit and rotations, but again, she has a dedicated set towards her, which is Branch and Blaze Song. So Miyabi doesn't really want to have a lot of anomaly proficiency. She would rather have the crit stats and the crit damage stats that you get from having her 4-piece, which is Branch and Blaze Song. Jane. As for Jane, I think she could use this set. My only issue is that it's kind of like the same case as Alice, where Alice benefits way more from Fang Metal, the same as Jane. However, if you're doing like a main field DPS Jane, you could possibly use this. Since basics are a part of your main rotation, it's pretty easy to get this condition off without it hindering your rotations. Next we have Piper. Piper, even as an A rank, she's very strong. It's the same case as in Jane and Alice, which Fang Metals is a really more stronger, consistent option. However, a lot of good Piper players, or Piper players in general, really use her basic attacks before using her EX. So it's already built into her rotations. And I still think it's a good set if you know how to play Piper properly. Especially since there are people who know or use Piper as a crutch for their account, or use her with Anomaly, like specifically Vivian. You're able to just get the full benefits of Shining Arya with Piper because, like I said, her base attacks are a part of her rotations, so it doesn't hinder her gameplay. Next we have Burnice. I honestly think this set is not very good for Burnice. It's kind of like the same case as Miyabi and Vivian. Chaos Jazz does everything Burnice kind of wants, even the assist attack, because now thanks to her buff, her entry skill is considered, I think, an entry assist or an assist attack. So even her entry skill gets benefited from Chaos Jazz. So I wouldn't recommend Shining Arya if you have Burnice. I'd rather just keep farming Chaos Jazz, as in, like, it's kind of hard to put basics in her rotations, which is mostly an off-field character, same as Vivian. Next we have Grace. Grace, I think, is a character that can actually use this pretty well, and it doesn't like affect her rotations. She already has several different options when it comes to Thunder Metal, Chaos Jazz, or even Freedom Blues. But she already does a lot of basic attacks in her main kit. You have to basic attack in order to get her new 30% electric damage bonus and her zap stacks, unless you use your ultimate. So this doesn't really hinder Grace's damage per se. It might actually enhance it. I haven't seen many people talk about using Shiny Aria with Grace, especially since she's getting buffed. Players can farm the new set for YSG and Grace if they're planning on using her. So it's pretty much a win-win. Again, I don't think this will like necessarily hurt her rotations or make her like as strong as the other anomalies, but it is a set that she can use very consistently. Lastly, I want to talk about Yanagi because, you know, she's my girl and I kind of want to talk about her a lot more. So first off, I don't really like Chaos Jazz on her. It was only her best set because it was her most consistent set. Now I feel like Shiny Aria is probably her more consistent set just because she already does a lot of basics in her anomaly build up, unless you have higher mindscapes or team members like Yuzuha or Rina to build up her electric anomaly faster. So like having Shiny Aria to give you more of a more of an anomaly proficiency boost is really strong for Yanagi. As well as during the stun window, she can do at max like 4 to 5 polarity disorders depending on how you route your stun window. So she can actually use that stun damage multiplier really effectively. Same as the other anomalies that can do it as well, like Piper, Jane, Alice, and Grace. Yanagi also had the issue of with Chaos Jazz, the other two effects of it, like I think the assist damage as well as the EX special attack, didn't really increase her damage because her base multipliers are pretty low considering like other characters like even Grace or even Miyabi, right? It's not changing her gameplay too much. And EX special damage, it only increases her damage multiplier, not player disorder. So it's kind of like you're wasting half of the stats for the 4-piece. But other than the 2-piece from Shiny Aria, Yanagi can use pretty much everything in the set. Sure, she's losing like the 15% electric damage bonus, but in the end, you're trading it for a better stun window. And depending if we're getting a stun anomaly agent, which people have been thinking about we might be getting because of this set, the Yanagi is going to work really well with this anomaly agent, anomaly stunner. That's all my thoughts about Shiny Aria for now. I think this set is going to be really interesting when people start experimenting more. Some other honorable mentions, you can use Trigger with this. If you have Trigger with like a mono electric team, your other anomaly agents or your other agents don't really need a crit damage boost. So you could just run Shiny Aria with crit rate substats and like anomaly substats and attack substats. And she isn't diluting like the anomaly for electric too much. And it's always active. Plus, when they're stunned, she'll be able to do more damage during the stun, like just her normal damage. So I think that's kind of interesting as well. I was thinking maybe Seth can also use this as well. Since Seth already does basic attacks, he builds up quite a bit of anomaly as well, depending how you use them. Like if you do his enhanced basic attack into EX, he can build up a lot of anomaly. And he also just gets a lot of anomaly proficiency himself because of his shield. So this could be like a new set for him. It just depends on how you're using Seth on your teams with him. So like he's still kind of a mystery about how he will play with Shiny Aria. But I think it'll be an interesting set to test out with. And lastly, the only other agent I can think of is probably Yuzuha. Even though she has really great sets, there are some teams where you can use her more for damage, which doesn't hurt the team because her rotations, you really don't use basics as much. So before like an assault, you could just probably basic attack to proc the assault, or you could basic into EX to get the anomaly proficiency. So she doesn't have a lot of proficiency and you really build her with that, having like more doesn't necessarily hurt. So that's just all that I think about the agents that can possibly use Shiny Aria. So let me know if you're really excited about the set, because I am so excited to toss away Chaos Jazz and to leave that set for good. So let me know what you guys think about. And I'm just gonna sign off for now. Hopefully you guys enjoy 2.5. And I'll see you there in co-op.